record. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday night where we meet and speak with all kinds of interesting people. Tonight we have with us Rabbi Zelik MOscowitz. There he is. You can see him. And Zelik is the director of the FCIL, which stands for Friendship Circle of Illinois. So first, Rabbi MOscowitz, thank you for joining. Welcome to our Zoom. Really appreciate you taking some time to share with us all about the Friendship Circle.
Thank you for inviting me.
Great.
And it's nice to
give
be
us
here.
a little history. What is Friendship Circle, and how did you decide to make this your life's work?
So I guess we'll go through this quickly. I was first introduced to Friendship Circle when I was a bacher in yeshiva in El Torah, or not in El Torah, in 770 in Crown Heights. And I was recruited when they were just starting out their boys division of the Friendship Circle in Crown Heights. And I was recruited to be a Friends at Home volunteer, which is a program that sends volunteers to the home of children with special needs to spend time with them once a week. At that time, I think it was an hour and a half a week. I was hanging out with a kid in Crown Heights.
Wow, okay.
So that was my introduction to Friendship Circle.
FCIL. How did you make it in here in Illinois? What's the background there? And how do you get started in these types of programs? It's not like a community that's there. You make phone calls. How do take us back to the early days? What year was it? How did you get involved? And how do you get started? How do you get the first couple of people?
So here in Chicago, after my wife and I got married, we were looking for a shluchus opportunity, and the Goodmans, Rabbi Shmuel and Sharon Goodman, approached Chabad of Illinois at that time to bring Friendship Circle to Chicago. And we got special permission to send in our resume and to be interviewed by the Goodmans. And ultimately, they decided that we were a good fit. And that's how the Stuart I. Roskis Friendship Circle started here in Chicago.
What year is that? Give us a time frame.
This is the summer of 2006 is when we moved here.
18 years. So give us a sense. What is sort of the simple mission statement of Friendship Circle? And then you come here, you're all full of enthusiasm and so on. And how do you start?
So the mission is to bring friendship to children with special needs who otherwise would have a difficult time making friends. That's very, very basic. Eventually it evolved to other things, which we'll get to soon. We'll speak about that. But your question about how to get started. So at the beginning, we spoke to people, community leaders, mainly shluchim, and asking if someone knows someone in this situation. We are based in Northbrook, and my brother Rabbi Meir and my father Alav Shalom knew a few families. I think we started with two families, that one that my father had a connection with and one that my brother had a connection with, and we went and we met with them, and we told them what we're trying to do and about the Friends at Home program, that we're interested in first of all, to find out if their children are interested in having such a play date. And obviously they were interested. And we matched them up with some teens who live in their area. And then it really started by word of mouth. So this family mentioned it to another family, and, echad, one at a time.
Is it easy to find volunteers to go and visit these special needs kids? Is there a training process that they had to go through? I mean, I could imagine that in this type of circumstance, it could be some awkward, some suspicion, some sort of like what's going on here and so on. How did you break down that stigma, and how did you recruit your volunteers? And did you give them any kind of formal training? You just said, hey, just go over to that kid's house and play basketball with them, or whatever it is.
So,
How did that?
yeah, so
get-
there is some legwork that goes into it. Um, to recruit the volunteers is not so simple. We originally thought that anyone who was a teen is a candidate to be a volunteer in Friendship Circle. It took us some time to find out that not everyone is a candidate. Some people are not interested. Some people are scared, and they might be capable, but they don't know how. And others have other things that they pursue. So not every person was a candidate, and not everyone. But again, it was word of mouth. And yes, there is training that goes in. There's some very basic training. There's some what we call Menschlichkeit training. One of our colleagues in Friendship Circle, Rabbi Kaltman, soll sein gesund in Columbus, prides himself that he claims that he is a heart specialist. He also runs a Friendship Circle, and he's a specialist in the heart. And his Avas Yisrael is very strong. His love is very strong, and so there's some Menschlichkeit training, how to be respectful, how to be courteous, and then there's some individual training specifically for the person that they're working with, and that differs from person to person.
So what are some of the bumps in the road, and what are some of the lessons learned, and what have been some of the most popular programs?
There's always lessons learned. Speaking about the earlier days, we had a family who's a very good friend of one of the people who we originally started Friendship Circle with, and it wasn't until like 3 or 4 years after we started that she reached out to inquire about Friends at Home program, and she told us that as soon as we moved to Chicago, as soon as we started the Friendship Circle, she had her eye on the Friendship Circle, but she was wary about it, just like you had mentioned, and she wanted to see if this is something that's viable before she signs up. And she said she followed us for 4 years before calling us to get her son signed up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So what are some of the other, you mentioned about the Friends at Home program. That sounds like it's the flagship. What are some of the other programs? And if you got some pictures, we love pictures.
Okay, we'll get to pictures in a moment. Some other programs that we focus on is holiday programs, both for younger children and adults with special needs. I should preface it by saying that we live in a big city here in Chicago, and there are other organizations that also have programming for people with individuals with special needs, with disabilities. And over the years, we've tried to innovate and to provide programs for the children and adults in ways that the greatest benefit for the children and for the families. In other words, if there's already an existing program, we try to do something different in a way that the parents could benefit from as many services as possible. So we, in addition to the Friends at Home, we also have winter camp, end of summer camp.
This is a day camp, I'm assuming. Is that correct?
Day camp, yes. So during the winter break, many people go out of town for the end of December and beginning of January, but many don't, and especially if there's a family with a child with special needs, it makes it difficult to do any vacations. Some people are still working during that time, most of those days. So we have a day camp in Northbrook that it's a partnership with Gan Yisrael. So we bring in our volunteers and we run a parallel program with Gan Yisrael.
What would you say? Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask, what have been some of the sort of life lessons that you've taken? You've been doing this for 18 years. You've picked up different strategies, different ways to get the word out, to get more volunteers. What about at a personal level? What have been some sort of rewarding parts, maybe challenging parts that you've learned? just for yourself from dealing with what can be a challenging community?
So one of the rewarding parts, I guess it ties in with the challenges, but I guess one of the goals of Friendship Circle is to reach to reach an audience who wouldn't automatically be in a Chabad setting, and in that case, some of the families fall into that category. The families of children with disabilities, and some of the volunteers that we're able to stay in touch with the families, with the families of the volunteers, and help them with different Yiddishkeit things, life cycle events, and to increase the Yiddishkeit in their home, and obviously when the volunteers go to college, to connect them to other shluchim, to the places that they're going to. In some cases, even basic things like setting up Kaddish for someone who passed away in the family, relatives, and stuff like that.
So when you've had the friends at home, we talked a lot about that. What is the impact not only on the special needs kid who's having a friend, but what about the volunteer? Have you seen that shape them, change them, or is it just like
Absolutely. So one of the programs that we focus heavily on now is our Talmud Torah program, which takes place in West Rogers Park area. Right now, we rent space at McCore. They have classrooms there, and this program provides Jewish education to special needs children who are in public school during the week, and they come to us on Sunday for Jewish education, and we teach Aleph Beis, Kriya, reading, holidays, mitzvahs, actions, things that they can take home. Specifically in this situation, because for whatever reason these children are in public school, many of their siblings are in regular day school, and they live here in this community. They feel different. They feel like an outsider, and we try as much as possible to give them this simchas hachayim, that I'm a Jew and I'm proud, even in their environment that they find themselves during the week. You should be proud of being Jewish. Some wear yarmulke in public school, some don't, but they should always be proud of who they are, and when it comes to Yom Tovim, they're just like everyone else in the neighborhood. They know what Purim is. They have their own Megillah they could bring to shul. When it comes to the Pesach Seder, they can ask the 4 questions, and they're up to par with everyone else in their community.
Beautiful. Is there a specific story or a specific one of the kids or some way that you saw an interaction that sort of really stays with you?
Oh, so I didn't answer the second part of your previous question. That the volunteers definitely get a lot out of it, more than but equally as important as what the children with disabilities get out of it. Something that we find again and again is where volunteers say, I'm learning to have a real friend, or I found a real friend, someone who's not judging me and doesn't care about what shoes I wear, doesn't care about what if I have the latest iPhone, or if I what I don't know, any mishugas. They just care. We're just friends, and that simplicity of connecting one person with another person in that kind of level has really been rewarding, and something that we see time and time again. If they let themselves open up, and if they let themselves be involved in that way, something that we see that many volunteers that we keep in touch with after they go to college, or they go to seminary, or other careers that they pursue after schooling, many of them pursue careers in some kind of therapy, even speech therapy, physical therapy, things. There's some who there's two that started their own company, so to speak, for autism, for therapy for children with autism.
A medical practice for what?
Yeah, well, not a medical, but some kind of therapy practice.
And those the people who started that were Friendship Circle volunteers for the Friends at Home project. Amazing.
I should add both boys and girls, not
Wow.
only girls, also boys. But in general, many of the newsletters that we printed, we always have an article of, where are they today? Where's a volunteer from 5 or more years ago? How the Friendship Circle volunteering impacts them today.
How about the siblings of especially? You have a family with a special needs child. I can imagine that it has a great, a profound impact on the brothers and sisters. What have you seen in that realm?
Absolutely, and there's just like any family. There's every family is different, and there's all things across the board. You have some cases where it always impacts the siblings. There's some cases that it impacts in a positive way, and there's unfortunately some cases where it impacts in a negative way. But many of the families that we've seen, the siblings have developed an unbelievable resilience, understanding of people. In many cases, we have I don't know, maybe almost a dozen that I could think of, where a sibling was involved in Friendship Circle to volunteer either with their own sibling, which is rare, but has happened, or even volunteering with someone else. And the realness and the ability to help and to be there for someone else, they're miles ahead of others, and it's really nice to see when that happens. In speaking about unique volunteers, we also have had in over the years participants, meaning children who started out as being recipients in various programs,
Beneficiaries
later on became volunteers and helped in our winter camp and
Beautiful.
or in Friends at Home, where they're able to contribute in a significant way, and not just cleaning tables or something, but really being involved with helping younger children.
That's beautiful. Rabbi, we want to be respectful of your time. Appreciate all these stories. How does somebody who's listening now or is going to watch this later, and they say, "Oh, I know somebody could benefit from this on either side of the equation"? What do they do? Is there the phone number, a website? Like, what's the process to get involved?
So the best way to get involved is with sign up on our website, or to call our office. The website is FCIL.org, which stands for Friendship Circle Illinois.org. And there's a link there to sign up as a family participant or a volunteer, or to donate.
Also good. Okay, Rabbi, we love pictures. You got any pictures for us?
We got some pictures. Let me see if I can share them right here, and maybe we'll do some. Let me get rid of all this stuff. Can you see that? Let's see.
We got a bunch of pictures here. Tell us what we're looking at.
Okay.
There you go.
So here we're looking at a partnership that's going on for many years with Rabbi Shneur Shimon in our winter camp. Here's a unique picture. We have participant in the middle, his name is Gabriel,
Mm-hmm.
and he started out in Friendship Circle when he was about the age of 9, and he was matched up with Aaron right here,
Uh-huh.
and they started out as participants of Friends at Home. Aaron was officially the volunteer, and
Mhm.
Gabriel was the recipient. And Aaron started in 7th grade, which is unique. Typically, we recruit high school students, and they kept up this this connection all throughout his years in high school, and even after he
Wow.
went to college, they still text each other. And
Nice.
this is over the years. This is 2 weeks ago by the walk, or a week and a half ago. That's them. Many years later, they're still keep in touch and see each other whenever they come to town, whenever he comes back to town.
Nice.
This is just some recent pictures of our recent event,
Circle
walk.
walk.
This is a unique picture from Lag BaOmer, which we had the chus of having a float where the children from Talmud Torah were on the float. I don't have the picture of that here. I don't know why, but that was a nice event. Here's some pictures from Talmud Torah and how each kid is able to challenge themselves and master their own learning in Aleph phase and in reading, each one at their own level. One of the benefits of the Talmud Torah is that everything is one-on-one. Not everything, but I'm saying each child has a one-on-one volunteer, and there are times that they work just together with their volunteer, or even in the group settings, they have an aide to help them throughout the class instruction. Here's, you see, we're getting ready for Pesach, and this is a pillow that Spencer's able to use at home.
Amazing.
At his Seder together with his family.
And these are all in the Northbrook Chabad that we're looking at?
No, these are Talmud Torah pictures in West Rogers Park.
As you mentioned, right? Beautiful.
About
About how many kids? It looks like about 15, 20 kids. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah. There's last year there were 15 kids. This year, we're working on increasing that number. We already have a few new students, so
beautiful.
It's growing, Baruch Hashem. This is a winter camp picture. That's in Northbrook. I should mention the volunteers that we get are from various schools. In winter camp, we have some students from Ida Crown. In Talmud Torah, we have students from Cheder, LGHS, and Hannah Sachs High School.
Beautiful.
This is a Talmud Torah graduation.
This is last year,
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It's 2 years ago. Yeah, this one. Here we have also part of the graduation. This is from last year's walk, or 2 years ago's walk, rather.
2022, I see that.
Yep.
Beautiful.
It's good to have a date. Something that we didn't speak about is holiday events at Misericordia. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Tell us.
It's also it's a residential place for adults with disabilities. Some of them live on campus. In total, they have more than 500 residents between their campus on Ridge and Devon, and then they have Silas in other places. On Sukkot and other holidays, we bring holiday events to them. As you can see here, this sukkah is a wheelchair accessible sukkah.
Beautiful.
And this is part of that sukkah's event. And here you can see how the wheelchairs are able to get into the sukkah.
Beautiful.
And I guess that's all we have for now.
Rabbi, this is what you're doing is God's work. Give us that website again if people know somebody who want to get involved on either being a provider or a beneficiary. Give us the website And thank you so much for your work and for sharing it with us. Beautiful. What's the website, please?
FCIL.org.
FCIL, FriendshipCircleIllinois.org. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, Rabbi
Thank you very much
MOscowitz,
for having me.
thank you. Beautiful. Really, what a Kiddush Hashem. What a beautiful sanctification of God's name to care for these youngsters. And like you said, they're both benefiting. The recipients and the benefactors are all benefiting from this. Baruch Hashem. Okay, everybody, want to say good night? Tomorrow
Hatzlach in
night.
your work.
Thank you.